Hey guys, just doing a mic check. Can you guys hear me? Let's hope that's so. Just let me know if you can hear me and we'll begin. All right, great. So this is a bit impromptu. I actually wanted to pre-record a video before and then upload it, but I thought it'll be easier to just do kind of like an impromptu answering the questions that were posted in the Telegram channel. So there were quite a few questions that were posted over the past 2 or 3 days, and I'll be also monitoring the live chat, and I'll probably go through the first few questions that were posted before. And anytime once I'm done with that, you can ask any questions that you have regarding the Zcoin project, and I'll answer to the best of my ability. So this is totally not scripted. Just kind of doing it as it is. So forgive me if I misspeak. So right, let's get right to it. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm going to answer the question of Ali's, who has been asking, and all these questions are kind of related to our rebrand right now. And he asked, some friends are asking me, what will exactly happen on the 28th of October? Will they just say the name, all exchanges and wallets and all social media accounts will rebrand on that day? Or will something happen later after when mainnet is ready? There's another question. When will the exchange announce the change of name of Zcoin? And can't there be any due 2 days before the name change? So I guess these are all questions as to what's going to be happening in a couple of days. So yeah, Tervos, we haven't reviewed the name yet. I think we are maybe 3 days away as per the countdown. So what's happening is that on Tuesday, we are revealing the new brand. What is going to be replacing Zcoin, and we won't be changing immediately. What we'll be showing is showing the new logo, the idea behind the logo, what we'll be changing to the new ticker. And we're not going to do a straight away swap because I think that would cause a lot of confusion. What will happen is that there will be almost like a 1 month period where we'll transition into the new name. I'm going to be very careful not to accidentally say the new name right now. Yeah, so we plan to launch the Lelantis mainnet binaries by the end of November, and then we will actually rebrand. We have actually already contacted exchanges. So far the biggest one says there are no issues. Of course, we will hear more from them in the coming weeks. There is no chain swap. There is no, additional, like, it's kind of like just a rebrand change. We have the new domain, we have registered all the social media, and we will transition over the coming weeks. We also review the new website. I think maybe in a couple of days after the rebrand review, we're doing some finishing touches there, and I think people will be very, very pleased with it. All right. Okay, so does anyone else have hearing an echo, or is it just Receipt? Because he's saying that I have an echo. All right, if not, I'll be continuing. Hope that answers that question. So right, Crypto Invoker asks, how is the testnet going so far? Any new bugs? Are they major? What exactly, besides announcing the name, will happen 27th of October? Maybe the new website will be up or something, or like wallets will be updated. He also has a related question on how the 2 DeFi project integrations going and when. So far, the testnet is actually going pretty well. No major bugs identified. There is one kind of outstanding issue as to relating to Lelantis transactions when you have an encrypted wallet. I just checked with Levon, the programmer in charge of it, and what is happening is that he says he's just testing it now. He'll probably push a new pull request on Monday, and then we'll get it approved sometime next week. And we foresee that will probably be the last major bug that we'll be fixing before we release mainnet binaries. We'll take the following weeks to just do a bit more tests, a little bit small bug tests, but I don't think there'll be any other major changes beyond that. I hope that answers that question. What exactly besides announcing the name will happen on the 27th of October? Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, the website will be up pretty soon. The wallets will not be updated straight away, but we will be continually pushing news that we're rebranding and stuff, and there will also be a PR push that we're working together with Ditto PR, and we're also trying to in contact with a few influencers to announce the change as well. We want this change to be as smooth as possible so there is no confusion when we move over to the new name. As to the question on the two DeFi project integrations going, so as you probably know, StakeHound has already announced the launch date, which is 30th of October. The last, I don't know if there's been any updates since then, but the last time I checked, there was over 250,000 Zcoin already being deposited into the StakeHound system. So that means we'll have 250,000 stake Zcoin ready to go. And over the next few days, hopefully we'll see more people put in. I think the target is maybe about like 500 to 600,000 Zcoin locked into this DeFi system, which will probably put it at about like $2 million that we have in liquidity that in this DeFi ecosystem. So there is some additional incentives. Like I think StakeHound is issuing their own token, and if you contribute early, you get certain bonuses. I'll let Albert and the StakeHound side deal with that. We have nothing to do with that, but it's an additional incentive. Like if you want to support the ecosystem and you don't mind going through KYC, this is a way that you can you don't want to manage your own Z nodes, you can place it in and you get both stake Zcoin and the StakeHound token when it's released. So I think that's a pretty nice incentive over there. Rohit also says there's an echo coming. All right. If anyone else tells me there's an echo, just let me know. All right. Anything else? Let's see. So that's the first one, which is the StakeHound one, and hopefully we'll get that up. Once we have that up, we do have several projects that are interested. I can't review them now, but we're looking at landing platforms. We're looking at mostly landing platforms. Of course, we're going to be listed on several decentralized exchanges. Hopefully we get whitelisted on several decentralized exchanges as well. And that seems to be going well, but we need to prove that we need to prove that we have like enough market cap within the stake Zcoin system. And I just wanted to take this opportunity that this is actually StakeHound is the first product of its kind. And that means it is the first coin to allow both staking and participation in DeFi at the same time. And Zcoin is the very first coin to be on it. This is actually really big. I mean, after us, there's NEM, there's Dash, there's Tezos that's coming, and we are the very first. We're beating them to it. So I hope everyone kind of understands how important this is, and how we've been actually really working closely with StakeHound to make this happen. The second DeFi integration, which was with Ren Protocol or Republic, has hit a bit of a hiccup, not from our end, but Ren said that some of their integrations have been taking a bit longer than they expected. And although they had planned to launch in this year, they're looking at the early Q1 release as being more realistic. That, of course, is a bit of a bummer. I'm not too concerned about that, but we are actually already in active. I'm actually reaching out to several other decentralized ways to sort of wrap Zcoin up, which would not require KYC. I wouldn't be revealing the names yet until we have something a bit more concrete, but we are actively working on it. I do think that the Ren Zcoin integration will still happen eventually, but we're still, of course, exploring other options as well. Right. Okay, so Rohit has asked, in terms of privacy, how do you compare yourself with Monero, Zcash? Where do you think Zcoin stands with the competition? Then he tells us, please tell us your plans for Lelantis 2 or the roadmap associated with it. Please share excitement of Zcoin team related with the upcoming rebranding, and what are the expectations after the rebranding? Oh, this is quite a long question. Well, in terms of privacy, I do think that once we have Lelantis up, we are going to be very, very competitive. Once we do have Lelantis version 2 up, with the direct anonymous transfers, I really think that we would have the best privacy technology available, with the best sort of like trade-offs and combination of trade-offs, like with no trusted setup, very high practical anonymity, and without taking unnecessary risks. So I do think Zcoin would actually stand with the top of the competition. Zcash, I mean, yes, I do think in terms of technology, of course, Zk Synopsis is really interesting, but that's like a totally different path, and I do think that as a coin for ourselves, we are really serious about privacy. We want to move towards a mandatory on by default model. While Zcash seems, I don't know, it still seems like the privacy is a kind of a side feature for them for some reason. I do think that we will attract a lot of people, and we're actually already starting to see it. We're starting to see a lot of Monero community members say like, hey, Zcoin is cool, and even in some of the conferences, we continue to have good relationships with Monero, and I think it's a big testament to our intellectual honesty and not crapping on other projects. We call it as it is. We're not going to be dicks about it, but we're really, really confident of our technology. So I hope that answers that question. Yeah, so the other thing is that please tell us your plans with Lelantis 2 or the roadmap associated with it. So the next in Q1, what actually happens is that we'll be doing the integration for direct anonymous payments, and what that means is that we can pass the right to redeem to someone else, and it actually kind of functions almost like a Z to Z transaction, which offers really, really high privacy. It would also introduce a new addressing system. So that is currently the plans with Lelantis. All the cryptographic research is already done. It's more a matter about the actual coding. We don't think it'll be that difficult, but fingers crossed. And we have actually designed the current code base of Lelantis to be forward compatible, so there shouldn't be very major changes that is need be to the code. We also plan to although it's not strictly related to Lelantis, the idea of instant transactions and chain locks is really, really important. It means, almost instant finality. And once we have like instant private transactions, I do think this is something that none of the major competition has. So I think we're really excited with that as well. And, no minimum amounts of reorganization, if any at all. And 51% attack protection. So yeah, and okay, please share excitement of Zcoin team related with the upcoming rebranding. Well, personally, I'm really excited, but at the same time nervous. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm gonna show this T-shirt here. Rasik actually made this and then sent it to me from zktrades.com. I thought that was pretty cool. I think this might be the last few days before Zcoin rebrands. So, anyway, that's a bit of a side thing. But I personally think that this is a brand new start, with a new privacy protocol. No one else confusing us with Zcash. The new website's looking great. The brand looks really polished. And I do think that this is a great time to reinvent ourselves. Yeah. So, right. Let's move on to the next question. Let's see. NW No, New World Order, who's also in the chat right now, if I'm not mistaken. Where are we on the mobile version of Zcoin QA, and how is the team managing these times in the bear market? Where are we on the mobile version? So I think I did cover this in the previous Q&A. We actually already completed everything that Edge wanted us to do, but unfortunately, they had also decided to change their entire infrastructure, which is a really huge bummer to us because just really bad timing and a series of delays. But the good thing is that we have a team of 4 programmers that are working on a mobile SDK. We already have the structure of it and we are starting to code it. So hopefully in the next few months we'll have a SDK that anyone can integrate, not just Edge. I think that should have been the way we should have approached it from the start. But hey, we the work is not totally wasted. The team's doing well. Even during the bear market, I think we are holding well. We are being very frugal and careful about our money. I would love to have a higher price to allow us to hire another 2 or 3 programmers, but we are actually doing okay. I'm quite confident that we do have some breathing room, especially when we are above $4 or so. So the only kind of drawback is like our Thai friends are going through some political instability, and our friends in Armenia also engaged in a war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Our prayers that everything goes smoothly, and really I hope everyone just sends thoughts and prayers to them, and I hope they stay safe. But everyone's spirits are pretty high. All right. Okay, Torfried or Torfried. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Okay, there's a bunch of questions from Torfried and DD349 and Altcoin Gamer, and Zed and Hakushu, all in relation to StakeHound. So I'm going to read the questions out, and let's see. So first of all, what's to stop StakeHound creating more stake Z coins than there are Z coins deposited with them? Will the Z node rewards be paid to the StakeHound addresses in Hound tokens? And if so, is their supply also limited? Okay, I'll answer this question first. I don't know if you have seen Wrapped Bitcoin. Wrapped Bitcoin actually has a website and as a proof of funds where you can actually they will disclose all the addresses that they're holding Zcoin in, and that you can also correspond it to the amount of Zcoin that has been generated on the contract. So you always know that, look, all this amount of Z nodes are held by StakeHound, and these are all the Zcoin created associated with it. So this is transparent and auditable, just like Wrapped Bitcoin currently. So I don't think there's any worry about creating more stake Zcoins than there are Zcoins deposited with them. Right. Now, will the masternode rewards be paid to the stake Zcoin address in Hound tokens? No. The Znode rewards will actually be paid in stake Zcoin. And the way it works is that the Zcoins are actually the stake Zcoins are directly credited to your balance. So let's say if you have 180 stake Zcoin in your Ethereum wallet, and the general pool of StakeHound earns a certain number of Zcoin, everyone gets a proportionate increase in the balances. It gets directly credited to your account, so you will see an increase in stake Zcoin. So this process happens once a day. So what that means is that if the general pool of all the stake Zcoin generates some rewards, you will see an increase in your balance. So, again, you can audit, they will tell you which addresses have the Zcoin, and you can always correspond that the amount that they're creating is not more than they actually have. So I hope that answers that question. Now, with the stake Zcoin with StakeHound be like any other ERC token that anyone can trade on the FDAX, but redeemable 1-for-1 for the main Zcoin you originally deposit with StakeHound? It's an excellent question. Yes, the StakeHound token, or the stake Zcoin token, is an ERC20 token, and that you can participate in Uniswap, Balancer, and all, and it's always redeemable 1-for-1. Now, the only catch is that right now, because StakeHound is the only bridge right now, because when you do StakeHound, when you enter into, you have to do KYC. When you exit, you also have to do KYC, unless you have already done KYC before. But the thing is that once you have the stake Zcoin, when you transfer it to someone else, if he doesn't redeem it, he never needs to do KYC. However, this is still not ideal, especially as a privacy coin. But that's why we're looking at Rent Bitcoin and other sort of decentralized ways where you can convert it back to native Zcoin, and we're working on that. I know some might say that, aren't you kind of like against, you going against what you guys are standing for? I do think that different people have different use cases. If you want to use your Zcoin as a collateral for a loan or something like that, and you want to do on the DeFi system, then go through the stake Zcoin system. Or you just want to use it as investment, somehow don't care about the privacy, great. But if you do want the privacy, then you just stay within the Zcoin system. Ali is asking, how is going testing? Any error or bug so far? All is working well. I mean, so far, I actually answered this a bit earlier. Everything is going well. There's just one last thing that we're testing that we hope to resolve this week. We think it's going to be resolved really soon. So you can probably rewind back for the more detailed answer. Okay, so let's move to the next question. Altcoin Gamer says, I'm still struggling to understand StakeHound. If they're creating Z nodes and minting the reward to represent potential earnings, isn't at least the initial of supply of 1000 Zcoin packed to the node that they create? The real question for me is, could you perform, say, like a token burn mechanism in F? Oh, no. He goes into something else, but let me just explain the very basic way that StakeHound works. StakeHound works basically by you deposit Zcoin into Copper. Copper is an institutional grade custodian. So that means they're properly licensed in the UK to hold cryptocurrencies on at the institutional grade level. So for those of you who are familiar with BitGo, this is I guess like a BitGo equivalent in the UK. And this is actually really big, because prior to this, Zcoin did not have any sort of institutional grade custodian, and with the integration to StakeHound, we have this now. So let's say if big, like big hedge funds, big VCs, family offices, they don't necessarily want to deal with the custody of their own coins, and therefore they trust people like BitGo or Copper. And therefore, with this StakeHound integration, even without the DeFi stuff, we have now an institutional grade custodian to use. So what happens then is that you will be depositing the Zcoin into Copper. Copper will then create the Z nodes and hold it on behalf of StakeHound. And what will happen there is that all nodes, which is one of the most reliable Z node providers that we have right now, will create the Z node. So it's almost like three parties there. You have StakeHound that's doing this entire service and also generating the stake Zcoin and making sure that the supply of the stake Zcoin matches with the actual Zcoin that is held in in Copper. You have All Nodes that is hosting the Z nodes. So it is, I guess, like, no one person has all the power, and I think that's quite good. Of course, right now there's only one custodian and there's only one uh, sort of Z node hoster. But as the thing gets bigger, I do think that StakeHound has said that they are looking for alternative custodians and also alternative Znode hosters to preserve a decentralization. But currently, at the current take-up rate, I don't think there is an issue right now. So so Zed also asked a question. Once Zcoin are in StakeHound, how do they come back out? I did talk about this earlier, and it's basically there will be a kind of like a dashboard where you can say, I want to redeem my stake Zcoin for actual Zcoin. If you have not done KYC, they'll require you to onboard on the Alcoinomy platform. Alcoinomy is the KYC partner. And what happens then is that once they approve it, then they will allow you to transfer it back into the native way. This is the current way. It's not ideal. But once we have something like Zcoin or the other decentralized methods, then you don't even need to do KYC. You can just use a bridge and move it out. So those of you who have used the Ren bridge would know how that looks like. So yeah. And Hakashu has also asked, reading through the StakeHound paper, who is the staking provider for Zcoin? Assume All Nodes, but I appreciate confirmation. Yes, All Nodes is the staking provider for Zcoin for StakeHound currently. This may change, but I do think that All Nodes does an excellent job. Yeah, I'm using not really a green screen. It's this NVIDIA broadcast AI technology that kind of does it, because my background's really messy. Makes me look like I'm in a fancy place. So yeah, I am open for questions right now, and I'll probably wait for a few minutes if anyone has any additional questions. If not, I will close off this session. No, the background's not real. You can see a bit of the clipping here. Yeah, receipt things. I always thought I was rich. I am but a humble farmer, is what the DeFi degen say. So has anyone asked any additional questions? Okay, receipt says he has the new rebrand t-shirts ready. Okay, somebody about scamming. All right. Anything else that I wanted to say? Oh yeah, I don't know. Mask. All right. So just one last thing I kind of want to say before ending this stream, unless somebody else has any other questions. I actually, a lot of people say like, when marketing, what are you guys doing and all that sort of stuff. Well, first of all, I mean, our funds are totally transparent in the sense that you kind of know that we aren't being paid a lot. So we get about 15,000 Zcoin every month. So if you multiply that by 4, it's about 60,000 US dollars. And, we have how many programmers under our belt. And that also covers our infrastructure or our pay and all this other stuff. Now, if you calculate that isn't a lot of money to spend on exchange listings, marketing, and whatnot. And people may say, oh, that's a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing, because what it means is that instead of us taking a huge tax off the community, it means that, we are only taking what is needed to move the project forward, and the rest of it goes back to the community. Should be a community project, and we want to gear it more and more into the community project. And none of us are getting rich from our pay at Zcoin, I can tell you that. And we're here to build like what we think is really important in this world. So I hope people appreciate that. And what that means is that if you guys are getting, most of the rewards, it is also the community's job to talk about it. And some of you guys have been really amazing, sharing stuff on Twitter, getting things up. You have a good idea to to run a community stuff. I think that is great. But please, we can't do everything. We don't have like huge amounts of money to throw around. We are just focused on continuing to deliver on Zcoin's vision, on the development, and what anything else that we can do. But I hope people realize that it is a collective responsibility. This is why we're having this community meeting, or impromptu community meeting. We want to involve. This coin is just as much yours as it is ours, right? We don't have huge amounts of Zcoin on ourselves. Rohit asks, are you working from Singapore? No, I'm actually working in Malaysia. So, okay, I think I haven't seen any additional questions. Joas asked, what's the difference between Zcoin and Horizon? Totally different. Horizon was started off as a fork of Zcash. Actually, I think it started off as Z Classic and then forked to be Horizon, and now they're not so much about a privacy coin. They're more about side chains and like people building their own side chains of Horizon. And I think their main call to fame was I think they had IOHK involvement, which was the guys that involved in Cardano. They kind of have a different vision, not really a privacy coin per se, and they're using ZK Snarks technology. That means they're more focused on their sidechain technology rather than the privacy technology. I think they've kind of pivoted away from it. What's the second letter of the new name? 16 sausages. Well, you see, I mean, come on, it's only like 2 days away, so I think you guys can wait a bit more. I'm really excited. Let's just hold the suspense a bit more. So anyway, thank you very much for coming on. And I know this is kind of like impromptu, and hopefully we do this more. Maybe I'll give more of a heads up next time. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Bye.